everybody. My name is Morgan Gard, and this is your Pack Preview. There's a battle brewing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the Point Park Pioneers host the Battle of the Boulevard. And here to talk about her battle plan is Coach Niekamp. So hello, Coach. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. To start off, you play Point Park. They were preseason ranked #1, and you saw them at Grace and Lindsey Wilson. So you've kind of had the chance to scout them. What are your expectations of them?
You know, Point Park's so interesting this year. They started out the season a little bit slow. They haven't won a match yet. They've been playing really tough competitors. You know, they've been at the same tournaments as us. So I kind of expect them to come out and really light us up the first day and kind of show us what they're made of, not having any wins under their belt yet.
And actually, this is your only conference game against them, and it's at their home turf. So you guys don't really have a great track record there, but is that motivation to beat them?
Absolutely. The last 2 times we've been in that gym, it just hasn't worked out for our favor. So we're really hoping to kind of turn that around this year. And it's almost comical that we go there and we just can't seem to do anything right. So this time we're really excited to make things right.
And Taylor's up next as well, another Indiana team with a little age difference. They have 5 seniors compared to our 1. Is this going to be a challenge for our girls?
I think so. You know, Taylor's such a good team to begin with, and we're still getting on our groove, and we have a lot of young kids kind of trying to figure out what their role on the team is. So I think that's going to be a huge game for us.
And one of your, I wouldn't say not so young teammates is Sydney Durham, who actually has a former teammate at Taylor, Alex Reel. Has she expressed anything about playing a former teammate?
You know, it's so funny. Almost every game that we go into, Sydney's like, oh, I played with so-and-so. Like, I can't wait to play against them. So it kind of lights a fire under her. So, yeah.
That's good that she has that motivation to play her teammates like that and go in with good sportsmanship as well.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck today, and I hope day 1 treats you well.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm Morgan Gard, and let's throw this one to our live commentators at Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Try saying that one 5 times fast.
Hello once again, volleyball fans, and welcome to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. I'm Caleb Gillock, the voice of your IU East Red Wolves, along with Kyle Wright, the Assistant Athletic Director and Sports Information Director of Indiana University East Athletics. Tonight we are back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Point Park University for the second match of the weekend. Earlier this morning, IU East took on the host team, the Point Park Pioneers, and beat them in 3 sets. They'll take the first conference win of the season for IU East and giving Point Park a conference loss. IU East won the first match, as we said, 3-0 with scores of 27-25, 25-23, and 25-22. They're getting ready to take on the Taylor University Trojans. IU East actually out on the floor right now for warm-ups. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the Taylor University Trojans. They are coming into the matchup with a record of 2-4. We got a chance to watch watch them play for a little bit this morning, and they also got a chance to see us play. Taylor University, as I said, comes into this matchup 2-4, excuse me, after picking up a win moments ago over Point Park. Or not Point Park, I'm sorry. I believe it was West Liberty that they played. I'm actually trying to pull the information on that game up to where we can see what exactly all the scores were and everything on that matchup that Taylor played earlier today. Kyle, you might have a little more information on it. It's actually looks like Lawrence Tech. They beat Lawrence Tech 3-1. You were in here for part of that game, I believe.
Well, the set I remember is actually the set they lost, because the third set, Taylor won the first 2 sets in fairly routine fashion. Then the third set went to 32-30. Lawrence Tech won that one to push it to a 4th set, and then Taylor won the 4th in fairly routine fashion. So that's how the Trojans picked up their second win of the season.
And the scores of that matchup, as Kyle was talking about, it was 21-25, 20-25, 32-30, and 18-25. Of course, Taylor University won that one 3-1 over the Lawrence Tech, who IU East we'll see later on tomorrow, I believe. So taking a look at Taylor University, they came against teams. 3 of their losses came against teams ranked in the top 25. They have a 6'1 junior outside hitter named Kelly Arnold and a 5'9 sophomore outside hitter Becca Gehrig. She averages 2.41 kills per set for the Taylor Trojans. Taking a look at the history of this matchup between the Red Wolves and the Taylor University Trojans, IU East has played Taylor in every odd-numbered year since 2009. So here we are once again in 2015 taking on the Taylor University Trojans. Kyle, do you know as far as wins and losses, who's ahead in that?
The all-time series,
yes.
Taylor, actually they've won all 3 in straight sets, and we mentioned the coincidence they've played in every odd-numbered year. Only one of those was actually scheduled. In 2009, that's who IU East happened to draw in its first appearance in the NAIA National Tournament. 2011, it happened at Georgetown College's tournament, which when you get into those tournaments, you never know who you're going to play until they send you the schedule. And then the only time it was actually scheduled was 2013 when Taylor came to Richmond and won in 3 sets. So right now Taylor leads the all-time record 3-0 with all those wins in straight sets.
All right. Well, of course, IU is taking on the Taylor University Trojans, who come into the matchup 2-4. And from what we've seen and we're talking a little bit about earlier today, it's a very athletic Taylor University team. And they got to kind of listen in on them as we were all down there on the second floor earlier. They all met up and were talking about what they can do against IU East. And from a lot of what I heard, it was just prepare for the attacking and how strong IU East can be at times as well. So it looks like it should be a pretty good matchup here between the Trojans and the Red Wolves. Kyle, what are your thoughts on the matchup?
Well, really, the way things have shaked out, this probably is going to turn out to be kind of the championship game of this tournament. Every other team has taken a loss, and every team that's taken a loss has gotten beat by these teams. So most likely, whoever comes out of this is probably going to be the one that goes either 4-0 or 3-1 and wins the tiebreaker. So even though it's only the first day, it feels like it's fairly early in the trip. We're probably looking at the championship game of this tournament right here. Both these teams, they're going to have tough matches tomorrow, but they'll probably be favored in their matches tomorrow. So the last 2 unbeaten teams in this tournament standing at a very early stage of the event.
All right, well, we'll listen into the Point Park PA announcer for the starting lineups between the Trojans and the Red Wolves.
Number 8, Kelly Arnold. A sophomore out of Hartford, Ohio. Number 10, Becca Gehrig. A senior out of Davenport, Iowa. Number 12, Julie Fahey. And a sophomore out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Number 14, Rachel Puma. And now the starting lineup for the Indiana University East Red Wolves. A sophomore out of Winchester, Indiana, number 7, Bailey Gates. A sophomore out of Noblesville, Indiana, number 9, Sydney Durham. A freshman out of Wabash, Indiana, number 10, Tori Snyder. A freshman out of Liberty, Indiana, number 12, Bella Pavey. A senior out of Union City, Ohio, number 13, Mallory Livingston. A junior out of Rockford, Ohio, number 21, Morgan Steinbrenner. And the Labora, a sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana, number 4, Madison Yoder.
All right, and there are the starting lineups for both the Taylor University Trojans and the IU East Red Wolves. The starters for IU East is going to be number 4, Madison Yoder. She's a 5'5 sophomore libero out of Indianapolis, went to Ben Davis High School. And also the middle hitter for the Red Wolves is a 5'10 sophomore, number 7, Bailey Gates from Winchester, Indiana, went to Winchester Community High School. Also starting at middle blocker, a 6'1 sophomore, number 9, from Noblesville, that's Sydney Durham. Then at middle blocker also is going to be a 5'8 freshman from Wabash, Indiana, went to Northfield High School, number 10, Tori Snyder. And starting at center, a 5'3 freshman from Liberty, Indiana, went to Union County High School, number 12, Bella Pavey. At outside hitter, a 5'9 senior from Union City, Ohio, went to Mississauga Valley High School, number 13, Mallory Livingston. And starting at middle hitter for the Red Wolves, a 6-foot junior from Rockford, Ohio, went to Parkway High School, number 21, Morgan Steinbrenner. And, of course, the head coach for your IU East Red Wolves in her second full season is Abby Niekamp. And a 5-5 record coming into the matchup for the IU East Red Wolves. So definitely looks like it's going to be another great matchup between IU East and Taylor. And IU East hoping to pick up win number 6 here over the Taylor Trojans to get over the 500 points here in the 2015 season. Serve from Bailey Gates goes over to the Trojans. Here's the attack, and it goes back to Gates from Arnold. And here is Mallory Livingston. Her attack is going to be out of bounds, and it'll be a point to Taylor, putting them on the board 1-0. So Hannah Best will come into the game for the IU East Red Wolves, and into the front row for Taylor is going to be number 4. That's Kayla Springer. And back to serve for the Trojans. Looks like it's going to be number 12. That is Julia Fahey. Here is Durham with the kill, and that puts the Red Wolves on the board and ties it up 1-1 here in the first set. Sydney Durham goes back to serve for IU East. Durham, a sophomore on the IU East roster, a 6'1 sophomore from Noblesville. Played a little bit of college volleyball last year. Here is Livingston with the kill or the attack, and it's going to be kept alive by the Trojans. Blocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a point to the Trojans, giving them a 2-1 lead in the first set. And coming in for Taylor is going to be number 13, Laura Craig. She'll go back to serve for the Trojans. Up on the front row, Morgan Steinbrenner, Bella Pavey, and Tori Snyder for IU East. The back row consists of Livingston, Best, and Yoder. There's the dig by Best. And Pavey, here's Livingston with the attack. Picked up by the Trojans. And here we go once again. Blocked up front by Steinbrenner and Livingston. And it's going to be out of the reach of Bella Pavey. Pavey is a 5'3 freshman. And that'll give another point to the Trojans. They are now up 3-1 in the first set. Here's the serve, goes over to Best, picked up by Snyder. Yoder gets it across over into the back row. Here's the set and the attack. It's going to be tipped out of bounds off of Mallory Livingston, and that puts the Trojans up 4-1 in the first set as number 13, Laura Craig, continues to serve. She's a 5'5 sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana. Plays defensive specialist for Taylor University. There's the dig by Pavey. And they're going to get Pavey for a line violation. And another point to Taylor. It's going to be 5-1. Craig continues to serve for the Trojans. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to Hannah Best. With the dig set by Pavey. Here is Snyder with the kill. And that'll be a point to the Red Wolves, 5-2. Only down by 3. As Abby Ketchum comes in to serve for IU East, and Missy Bedell goes up into the front row for the Red Wolves. Mentioned that Abby Ketchum going back to serve. She's a 5'10 freshman from Indianapolis. Went to Perry Meridian High School. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to the back row. Set by number 12. That's Fahey. And Steinbrenner tries to get it back across, but it's going to be a little too wide and out of bounds. A point to the Trojans. Now 6-2. So a 4-point lead for Taylor University. And their libero back to serve now. That's Alex Reel. She's a 5'4 junior. And it's going to be a service error. A point to the Red Wolves. That'll make it 6-3. Bailey Gates back into the game, up into the front row as Mallory Livingston goes back to serve for IU East. It's going to be just over the top of the net. Here's the set by Springer. And a point to the Red Wolves after doesn't get back over. That's going to be a point to IU East. So 6-4 in the first set. Mallory Livingston, the only senior on the IU East roster, continues to serve. It's going to be a dig by number 13. That's Laura Craig. Set by Livingston. Here's Ketchum and Steinbrenner. There's the dig and the attack by Becca Gehrig. And that's another point to the Red Wolves off the kill, and it's going to be now 6-5, down to a 1-point game. IU East rallying back. Here's the serve from Livingston. Goes over to Gehrig. And it's going to be tipped out of bounds off of Livingston, making it 7-5. Coming into the game for IU East is going to be Haley Myers. She's a 5'7" freshman from Winchester. And back to serve for Taylor is going to be Maggie Williamson. She's a 5'7" senior from Powder Springs, Georgia. Last went to Harrison, and a little miscommunication there between the Red Wolves. Madison Yoder couldn't hit it, so it's going to be a point to the Trojans. Now 8-5, back up to a 3-point lead for Taylor. Here's the serve from Williamson. Goes over, dig by Gates and Ketchum. And the attack by Gates goes into the net, and a point to the Trojans, making it 9-5, up to a 4-point lead for Taylor University. Taylor senior will continue to serve. Here's the set by Ketchum, and blocked up front by number 14. That is Rachel Balma. She's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, a 5'11" sophomore middle hitter for Taylor. And that puts Taylor University up 10-5, a 5-point lead for the Trojans. So a timeout taken by IU East. We'll take a quick timeout as well and come right back with more IU East volleyball right here on the IU East Red Wolves Sports Network.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. A 10-5 lead right now for Taylor University over the IU East Red Wolves in the first set. And it's still going to be Taylor ball coming out of the IU East timeout. Here's the serve from Williamson. It goes over into the back row to Madison Yoder with the dig. Ketchum gets one to save it. And just out of the reach of Bailey Gates puts the Trojans up 11-5 in the first set. Out on the floor right now for the IU East Red Wolves, Missy Vidal, Abby Ketchum, Morgan Steinbrenner, Bailey Gates, Madison Yoder, and Haley Myers. Here's the serve. It goes over to Haley Myers with the dig, set by Ketchum. And Vidal gets it over to the Trojan back row, goes over to Abby Ketchum. The dig by Madison Yoder, and there is the kill by Missy Vidal. And that will give the Red Wolves another point, 11-6, only down by 5, and it's going to send Madison Yoder back to serve for IU East. Right now, IU East faces a 5-point deficit, trying to cover some ground here with Madison Yoder back to serve. Last year, it was when the rotation seemed to work best when Yoder was back to serve. Now here's the dig by Alex Reel, and a kill by number 10. That was Becca Gehrig. And didn't really see that one coming from there anywhere.
Very quick offense for Taylor. Coach Niekamp, they watched the first set of Taylor's first match. That was right after the IU East Point Park match. And Coach Niekamp got on the bus. And first thing is they're real athletic, and they're showing that so far.
Durham gets it across. It's going to be tipped out of bounds. And a point to the Red Wolves. Should be, 12-7 now, Kyle?
That's what I have, yes.
As we mentioned earlier in the first game, the scoreboard is directly above us, right behind us. So it's hard for us to see, and I was able to kind of cheat and look off the scoreboard console, but it's down a little bit further now. That's going to be a ace for the Red Wolves, making it 12-8. A 4-point game now, still in favor of Taylor University as Bella Pavey back to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. Here's her serve. It's going to go over into the back row. There's the set and get it across to Madison Yoder. Set by Pavey. Durham with the kill. And now it is 12-9, down to a 3-point game. Pavey, a freshman from Union County High School. Here's the serve. It's going to go over to the back row to Gehrig. Picked up by Yoder with the dig. Sent by Pavey. Here's Tori Snyder. Gets blocked up front. Cindy Durham was there to try to help, but couldn't get to it, so it's going to be another point to the Trojans, making it 13-9. A 4-point lead for Taylor University here in the first set. Their server looks like it's going to be number 9. Number 9 is Rachel McKinney, a 5'7" senior from Avon, Indiana. Her serve goes over, and it's going to be set by Pavey, tipped over by Durham, and a point to IU East off of 2 hits. So it is now 13-10. IU East has double digits up on the scoreboard as Mallory Livingston comes back into the IU East front row, and Bailey Gates back to serve for the Red Wolves. So a 3-point game as Gates takes over as server for the Red Wolves. Here's the set and the attack from Taylor. Pavey trying to keep it alive as Gates dives for it. And it's going to be a point to the Trojans, 14-10. Hannah Best comes back into the game for IU East, and Kayla Springer back into the game for the Taylor Trojans. Back to serve is going to be Julia Fahey. She's a 5'8" senior from Davenport, Iowa. There's the set by Pavey, the attack by Durham. Goes over to Madison Yoder with the dig, set by Pavey. Right again, here's Livingston with the attack. Picked up by the libero, Alex Reel. And goes over a collision between Hannah Best and Madison Yoder. But the Red Wolves still able to keep the ball in play. Hannah Best goes diving for it. And just shy of being able to reach for the dig. 15-10 in the first set against the Taylor University Trojans. Here's the set by Pavey. And Livingston with the kill that time for the Red Wolves makes it 15-11. A 4-point lead for the Trojans as Sydney Durham goes back to serve for the second time in the matchup for IU East. Here's her serve. It's going to go over into the Taylor back row set, and a fake attack there. That was kind of a nice move there on Taylor University's part. Here is going to be the dig, and Snyder with one as well. Hannah Best goes chasing after it. Red Wolves keep it alive as Pavey gets it across. And here we go once more. Here's Taylor hitting it over to Tori Snyder. Hannah Best goes chasing after it. Short once again. And it's going to be 16-11. A 5-point game here in the first set in favor of the Taylor University Trojans. Madison Yoder, the libero, comes back into the game for IU East. And Laura Craig back to serve once more for Taylor University. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to the back row to Hannah Best. Picked up by Mallory Livingston. And Tori Snyder with the attack. Goes up off the ceiling. Kept alive by the Trojans. And it goes out of bounds. A point to IU East. Now 16-12. Missy Bedell back into the front row for IU East. And Abby Ketchum back in to serve. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to the Becca Gehrig. Here's the attack, goes off the hands of Steinbrenner. Picked up by Yoder, Ketchum sets it. Here's Bedell with the attack. Up off the ceiling once again. And set by Fahey. It's going to be out of bounds. A point to the Red Wolves. 16-13. Back down to a 3-point game here in the first set as Abby Ketchum continues to serve. The freshman from Perry Meridian High School over in Indianapolis. Here's her serve. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be a service error. A point to Taylor, 17-13. 4-point game here in set number 1. Alex Reel, a 5'4" junior out of Noblesville, goes back to serve. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to Madison Yoder with the dig, set by Ketchum. And the Trojans have the ball now. It's going to go over to Madison Yoder. Here's the set by Steinbrenner. Goes way over by the bleachers. Good move there by IU East. There's the fake attack. And off the hand of Ketchum makes it 18-13. Now a 5-point game here in set number 1. Alex Reel will continue to serve for Taylor University. Here's her serve. It goes over to Yoder with the dig. Set by Ketchum. Here's Livingston with the attack. And it's going to be good after it's tipped out of bounds off of a couple of Taylor University players. And it's now 18-14 in the first set. Mallory Livingston, the only senior on the IU East roster from Mississinawa Valley High School, goes back to serve. It's going to go over into the back row to Gehrig. Yoder with the dig. Here's the set by Ketchum. And Gates gets it across over to Fahey. And this is going to be out of bounds. Another point to the Red Wolves. It's going to be 18-15. IU East has narrowed it down to 3 points. yet again as Livingston goes back to serve again for IUE. Here's her serve. It goes over and over into the back row to look like Laura Craig, and another point to IU East after the Trojans can't return the ball, so it's going to be 18-16. Now down to a 2-point game. I believe this is the closest that IU East has narrowed the lead down. It's going to go over. Here is the kill by Steinbrenner. And now it's 18-17, down to a 1-point game. IU East running to take the tie and take the lead, but a timeout taken by Taylor University first. So it's 18-17 in favor of the Taylor University Trojans. We'll take a quick timeout as well and come back with more IU East volleyball right here on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Hello, I'm Caleb Gillock, the host of Inside IUE Sports, a show where we talk with coaches, players, and other guests about what's happening with IUE's athletics.
In the top 100 high school seniors.
Last year we were fortunate enough to do a variety of things on the track and then off to be able to be considered.
Make sure to join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on WETV Channel 20. And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East has rallied back here a little bit in the first set after being down by, I believe, 4. And they never could seem to quite get the Taylor University lead less than 3, but now they're down to a 1-point game. 19-18, Taylor University has the lead. The serve from Livingston goes over to the Trojans. And Livingston keeps it alive, and a block up front by number 10. That's Becca Gehrig. And it's now 19-17 in the first set. Haley Myers comes back into the game for IU East. Maggie Williamson will serve for Taylor University. It goes over to Haley Myers with the dig, set by Abby Ketchum. Here's Bailey Gates. Kept alive by the Trojans. It's going to be a point to the Trojans. 20-17. So back up to a 3-point game here in the first set. And here's the serve. It goes over to Madison Yoder in the back row at the dig, set by Ketchum. Bailey Gates with the attack, picked up by the Trojans. And this is going to be out of bounds. Oh, they're going to call it inbound. It was tough to tell from here at the scorer's table, so it's going to be 21-17 here in the first set. A 4-point lead for the Taylor Trojans as Williamson continues to serve for Taylor. Here's the serve. And that's going to be out of bounds. A service error against Taylor University, making it 21-18. Red Wolves trail by 3. Madison Yoder, the sophomore from Ben Davis, goes back to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. And here is her serve. It's going to be over to Reel. And a quick turnaround there by Julia Fahey. Makes it 22-18.
You saw me peeking over your shoulder a minute earlier. I was seeing what class the Taylor setter Fahey is. She is a senior, and she's made a lot of really heady plays, such as that one just there when her teams needed it. You can tell she's got that 4 years of experience.
Kelly Arnold back into the game as well for Taylor. This is going to be a point to the Red Wolves. And that narrows it down 22-19. And Stubbs coming back into the game for IU East. Looks like Snyder's back up onto the front row, replacing Abby Ketchum. And Bella Pavey back to serve for the Red Wolves. Here's the serve. It's going to go over into the back row of Taylor. Here's the set, and the attack goes over to Haley Myers with the dig. Set by Bella Pavey. Here's Tori Snyder with the attack. And it's going to be just long. Out of bounds, a point to Taylor, 23-19. And a sub comes in for Taylor. That's going to be number 9, Rachel McKinney. She goes back to serve for the Trojans. And here is her serve. It's going to be over to Haley Myers with the dig. Here's the set by Pavey, and the attack by Gates. A point to Red Wolves, 23-20. Mallory Livingston checking back into the game for IU East, replacing Haley Myers as Bailey Gates back to serve for the Red Wolves. 23-20 in the first set in favor of Taylor University. Here's the serve from Gates. It goes over to Gehrig. And the block up front, but stays on the IUE side of the net. Snyder gets it over. It's going to be hit out of bounds, and now it is 24-20, bringing up set point for Taylor University. Annabest back out of the game for IU East, replacing Bailey Gates. And a sub coming in for Taylor. That's going to be Kayla Springer, replacing, it looked like Maggie Williamson. Here's the serve. It goes over into the back row. Dig by Madison Yoder. Livingston trying to keep it alive and gets it across for the Red Wolves. A point to IU East. 24-21. Down to a 3-point game. Sydney Durham goes back to serve. Kyle, we saw this once earlier this morning. One of the games that we were watching is 24-21, and the team that was down ended up coming back.
So we've seen that a lot in this turn, just a lot of really close sets happening here. So if you're an IU East fan, would definitely like to see one more right here.
24-22. Red Bulls down by 2. Here's the serve from Durham. Goes over to the back row. Here's the dig and the attack. It's going to be out of bounds. Another point to IU East. And it is 24-23. And they end up calling the tip. Or a timeout is going to be... Okay, it is a timeout taken by Taylor.
I guess those are similar signals now that I think about it. They both wind up with kind of looking like a T.
All right, so 24-23 and a timeout taken by Taylor. They only need one more point to take the first set win. We'll take a quick timeout as well and come back with the end of the first set of IU East volleyball right here on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they'd already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And back to IU East volleyball. The serve for Sydney Durham in play. Here's the attack. It's going to go over into the back row. Pavey with the dig. Here's Snyder, and it's going to be into the net. A point to IU East. And that makes it 24-24.
I think the Red Wolves themselves are a little surprised they won that point, but they'll take it, and let's see if we can keep the momentum rolling.
Here's the set, and it's going to be a kill for Taylor. It looked like the kill is by Kayla Springer that time. And it brings up set point for them, 25-24. And the server is going to be number 13, Laura Craig, a 5'5 sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana. Goes over to Mallory Livingston. Here's the set by Pavey. Livingston with the attack, and a point to Taylor off of 2 hits, giving them the 26-24 win of the first set. Kyle, tell us a little bit about the first set between the Red Wolves and the Trojans.
Well, obviously, if you're IU East, you would have preferred to win the set. I thought, if I remember right, IU East got down 5-1, and they were kind of down that 4-point margin the whole set until that little flurry at the end. And I thought it was one of those cases where, no disrespect to Earl, no disrespect to Point Park, but Taylor's a little taller, could jump a little higher, hit a little harder, just a little better. And I think those 6 points is what IU East needed to kind of find its bearings, and they played perfectly even. Actually, I guess they made up ground after that. So if they can continue to play, they don't want to play like they did when they got down 5-1, but if they can play at the level they did after that point, they can certainly play with them. Now, Taylor's really good. This is one of those matches where you can play well and not necessarily win, but I think the Red Wolves have their bearings now. If they can maintain this level of play, I think we're looking for several more close sets here.
All right, well, the first set belongs to Taylor, 26-24. They lead the match 1-0. We'll take a break and come back with more Indiana University East volleyball right here on the IU East Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. The first set went to Taylor University 26-24. This matchup consists of the Taylor University Trojans, who come into the matchup with a record of 2-4, and the 5-5 Indiana University East Red Wolves. Hello once again if you're just joining us. A 1-0 lead for Taylor University here on the Red Wolves Sports Network. They had a 26-24 win in the first set. And we are here at the Point Park Battle of the Boulevard. The second match of the day for both teams. IU East earlier this morning took on Point Park University and won in 3. And we are here now. Yep, and so...
Nice to see the refs are concerned about our preparedness.
I know, they want to know if we're ready. I'm used to that for PA announcing, but for play-by-play... Now we know, Kyle.
So
if we're not ready, we can just say no, and they're going to hold things up for us.
So usually it's on us to be ready. That's good to have that option.
All right, Taylor University is going to serve to start things off. The server is going to be Julia Fahey. And there's a kill by Sydney Durham to start off the second set. A 1-0 lead for the Red Wolves here in set number 2. Sydney Durham, the sophomore from Noblesville, goes back to serve for IU East. And here it is. It's going to go over to the back row to Reel. Here's the set. And it's going to be a point to Taylor. Ties it up 1-1 here in the second set. So Taylor University will go back to serve. Their server is going to be number 13, Laura Craig. And here's her serve. It's going to be out of bounds. For a point to IU East. It's now 2-1 in favor of the Red Wolves as Abby Ketchum goes back to serve. Missy Bedell into the front row for the Red Wolves. Here's the serve. It's going to go over into the back row. Set by Fahey and an attack by, looks like number 13. That's Laura Craig. Making it 2-2 here in the second set. Here's the serve from Alex Reel. Goes over to Madison Yoder with the dig. Set by Ketchum. And another point to Taylor University. 3-2. Alex Reel continues to serve for the Trojans, who have a 1-point lead over the IU East Red Wolves. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to Yoder with the dig. Here's the set by Ketchum. The attack by Bedell is going to be out of bounds, and a point to Taylor. Now 4-2. We mentioned earlier in the pregame show, Taylor University won against the Lawrence Tech University earlier this morning. There's a set by Ketchum. Mallory Livingston with the attack that time, and it's going to be a point to the Red Wolves after it goes out of bounds. Taylor beat Lawrence Tech with scores of 25-21, 25-20, 30-32, and 25-18. Going to be a dig by the Trojans. Yoder keeps it alive for IU East. There's the set and the attack by Bailey Gates. Another point to the Red Wolves. Ties it up at 4. And Mallory Livingston will go back to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. Here's the serve from the IU East senior. Goes over into the back row. There's the dig by Craig, and it's going to be a point to the Red Wolves after the block up front that time, and it puts them ahead 5-4. Mallory Livingston will continue to serve for IU East. Here's the serve from Livingston. It goes just over the net for the ace. And another point to the Red Wolves puts them up by 2, 6-4. Mallory Livingston will continue to serve for IU East. Here's her serve. It's going to go over across the net to number 10. That's going to be Becca Gehrig. And Yoder diving for it, but a point to the Trojans. It's going to be 6-5. So Haley Myers comes back into the game for IU East. And Maggie Williamson in to serve for Taylor. Here's the serve. It's going to go across to Haley Myers with the dig. Set by Abby Ketchum. And the attack by Missy Bedell Here's the set and the attack by number 14, Rachel Bauma. And a point to Taylor after it goes out of bounds. Now we're all tied up once again, 6-6 in the second set. Here's the serve. It's going to go across over to the back row to Haley Myers, set by Abby Ketchum. Here's the attack, and it's going to fall, but kept alive by the Trojans. Rio gets it across for Taylor University. Here is the attack by Bedell. Tipped out of bounds on a point to the Red Wolves, putting them up 7-6. So Madison Yoder will go back to serve for IU East.
Missy Bedell, she had that last goal. She's playing through a lot of pain. She was really grimacing on the bench on the last set. The one that's injured is not her hitting hand, so she'll be able to hit effectively, but she's got a lot of pain on the other one that'll come into play when she has to dive for a ball or something. So nice job by her to grit her teeth and play through what she's feeling right now.
Now an 8-6 lead for IU East. Here's the serve from Yoder. It's going to be kept alive by the libero. Myers going after it and tipped out of bounds. A point to the Trojans. Now 8-7. And coming back out of the game for Taylor University is going to be Kelly Arnold, a 6'1 junior outside hitter. Here's the serve. It's going to go over to Haley Myers with the dig. Catch him with one as well. Here is Bedell. Gets it across for IU East. And Yoder diving after this one as well. Another point to Taylor University. All tied up at 8. 8-8 in set number 2. 1-0 lead into the match belongs to Taylor University. Taylor back to serve. It's going to be Becca Gehrig, the server. Bailey Gates with the dig, set by Ketchum. Durham gets it across over to Williamson. And another point to Taylor, putting them up 9-8. So a 1-point lead. As Garrett continues to serve for Taylor University. Here's the serve. It's going to be over to Bailey Gates. And off the legs of Sydney Durham. Makes it 10-8. And Coach Abby Niekamp wants to take a timeout as IU East now trails by 2 in the second set. 10-8 in favor of the Taylor University Trojans. We'll take a quick break as well and come back with more IU East volleyball right here on the IU East Red Wolves Sports Network.
My husband Larry came to Reed because he was in respiratory distress, and he came in through the emergency room and almost dying. The ethic of camaraderie and teamwork and customer service was extraordinary. After a few weeks of care with the fantastic staff in the medical, the CCU, the rehab departments, everywhere, he came home to me in one piece and ready to start the next stage of his life. We absolutely believe that Reed Hospital and the people here saved his life.
And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Thanks for joining us here on your Friday evening when you could be out watching some high school football, but we're glad you're
I understand there's a hailstorm actually back in Richmond. My son and wife were supposed to be at a scout camp out, and that was abruptly canceled, so that's probably not going to help the football schedule tonight either.
There's a set that goes over and a point to Taylor University. 11-8. Taylor has the lead over IU East, 11-8 in the second set and 1-0 in the match. Once again, thanks for joining us here on the Red Wolves Sports Network on your Friday evening. Glad to have you along with us down here in Pittsburgh. Here is going to be the set by Abby Ketchum. And a point to the Red Wolves. Now makes it 11-9. Red Wolves down by 2. Tori Snyder back into the game, into the IU East front row. Bella Pavey checks in and goes back to serve for the Red Wolves.
And real quick, well, if you're watching online, turn on your TV. If you've got Comcast Channel 81, they're going to show the rebroadcast of IU East win against Earlham from a couple days ago, so you can get a double dose of IU East volleyball tonight.
There's the set by Pavey, and the attack by Gates going to go down in the stat book as a kill, and that's going to make it 11-10. IU East trailing by 1 as Bella Pavey continues to serve. Pavey, a freshman from Union County High School. And here is the serve. It's going to go back into the Taylor back row. And almost kept alive by Gates and Durham, but it's going to be a point to Taylor instead. Now 12-10.
And that Comcast broadcast, Caleb, that's anywhere in the state. That's not just WCTV, which is also rebroadcasting it a few times tonight, but anywhere in Red Wolf Nation in the state of Indiana, if you got Comcast, you can watch that match. They just started it at 7 o'clock, so you can turn in right now.
There's the set, and Sydney Durham with the kill that time for the Red Wolves, bringing the IU East volleyball team back within one. It's now 12-11. And Bailey Gates back to serve. Here's the serve from the sophomore out of Winchester. There's the set. And the attack that time by, looked like Kelly Arnold, makes it 13-11, a 2-point lead for the Taylor Trojans. They'll bring a couple more subs back in. It looks like back to serve for them is going to be Julia Fahey, and up into the front row. Looked like Kayla Springer back into the game for the Trojans. It's going to be from Best over to Livingston. And the Red Wolves get it back across. Here's Reel. And Springer set by Snyder, set by Pavey. She gets it across, and a point to the Red Wolves. Makes it 13-12. So a 1-point game here in set number 2. Sydney Durham back to serve. Goes across over into the back row to, looks like that was Arnold that time. It's going to be a point to the Trojans, making it 14-12. So definitely another battle here between IU East and Taylor. There's the set by Pavey, and the attack by Livingston gets blocked up in the front row by the Trojans that time, and it's going to be 15-12 in favor of Taylor University. So a 3-point lead for the Taylor Trojans. Back to serve for Taylor. It's going to be Laura Craig, a 5'5 sophomore. And here's the serve. It goes over into the back row to Livingston. Livingston with the attack, and it's going to be a point to Taylor after it's called out of bounds. The line judge actually had to jump out of the way of that one. 16-12 in the second set. Here's the serve, goes over to Hannah Best. Pavey gets it across, and quick reaction there by Addie Bailey. Gives the Taylor Trojans another point, puts them up 17-12. Craig continues to serve. It's going to be over to Hannah Best with the dig. And here is Livingston. It's going to go over into the back row, set by Fahey. And another point to Taylor after the Red Wolves can't get it back across. And it's now 18-12. Here's the serve. Goes over to Hannah Best with the dig, set by Pavey. Here is the kill by Steinbrenner. And it is now 18-13. Subs coming into the game for the Red Wolves. Misty Bedell back up on the front row. Abby Ketchum back to serve. Steinbrenner, Bedell, Livingston, Yoder, Ketchum, and Best out on the floor right now for the Red Wolves. Yoder keeps it alive at the one hand. Set by Ketchum. Bedell with the attack this time. Hit back by Springer. Garrick had to get it across. Steinbrenner tips it over, and she's going to go for the block. Yoder is there to assist, but goes underneath the net. And it is 18-14. A 4-point lead. Oh, I'm sorry, it's going to be 19-13. All right. So 19-13 in favor of Taylor. Here's the serve from Reel. Goes over to Madison Yoder with the dig, set by Ketchum. Mallory Livingston with the attack that time for the Red Wolves, set by Fahey, and over to the IU East Red Wolves. Here is Livingston with the attack once more. And that's going to be a point to IU East. Now it's 19-14 in set number 2. Bailey Gates back into the game for IU East. Puts Mallory Livingston back to serve, the only senior on the IU East roster. Here's the serve. Goes over to Gehrig. And the kill that time by Laura Craig puts Taylor up 20-14. Here in set number 2. Waiting for the Taylor subs to come into the game. It looks like Maggie Williamson back into the game for the Trojans. She's going to go back to serve, as the Trojans have a 6-point lead in the second set. So, lighting up the floor here once again inside the Student Center gym. Here's Gates with the attack. She gets blocked up front by, looked like the team of Fahey and Balma. Makes it 21-14. Up to a 7-point game here in set number 2. Waiting on the serve from Williamson. It goes over to Bailey Gates with the dig. And blocked once again by Balma. Going to be 22-14. Up to an 8-point game for Taylor University. As the serve goes over to Gates, the set by Ketchum. The attack by Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner gets it across for a kill for IU East, and it is now 22-15. IU East not backing down yet here in set number 2. Madison Yoder back to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. Her serve's going to go over to Alex Reel, the Taylor libero. And it's going to be out of bounds, a point to the Red Wolves. Now 22-16. Have it narrowed back down to a 6-point game. Here's Yoder back to serve once more for the Red Wolves. Serve in play, goes over to the back row. Here's the set, tips it over. And there's Yoder. Jesse Bedell gets it across this time for the Red Wolves. The set, and the tip goes out of bounds. A point to the Red Wolves, down to 22-17, and a timeout taken by Taylor University as they started making really just a few mental errors on their part, Kyle.
Yeah, it seemed a little, I don't know if out of system is the right word, but somewhere the connection's broken because the hitters have had to make some really desperate swings at, and they've almost converted, actually. I was going to say, I thought Taylor's experience is really shown in this. There's been, not in the last sequence, but as far as when they were building the lead, there are a lot of situations where they found openings that I sure didn't see. They might have a bad pass, but their setter or their hitter was able to somehow get a good swing on it. I think those are the things that come with experience. IU East will be doing those things sooner than later. I think sometimes we forget how just incredibly young the Red Wolves are, with basically all freshmen and sophomores. So in this set, I think we've seen the benefits of experience that Taylor is bringing to the table in this set.
All right, Taylor comes out of their huddle, and so do the IU East Red Wolves. Once again, it is 22-17 here in the second set. The Red Wolves have the ball. They're down by a few more points than what they are now, and they've rallied back. Here's the serve from Madison Yoder. It's going to go over into the back row. Picked up, and here is going to be a tip over to Durham. Kept alive by Julia Fahey. Over into the back row, kept alive by the IU East Red Wolves. Here's Gates with the attack. It's going to go out of bounds, and a point to Taylor University. It's now 23-17, a 6-point lead for the Taylor Trojans. Coming back into the game for Taylor is going to be number 8, Kelly Arnold. And Becca Gehrig back to serve. There's the set and the block by Balma. 24-17. Brings up set point for the Taylor Trojans. Becca Gehrig will serve the set point. Her serve goes over to Bailey Gates with the dig, set by Abby Ketchum. Here's Gates with the attack, picked up by Alex Reel, the libero. And another attack goes over to the back row. Haley Myers keeps it alive with the dig, set by Ketchum. Here's Bedell with the attack, kept alive once more by the Red Wolves. Over to Gates with the attack, but a point to Taylor University off of 4 hits. Brings set number 2 to a close. And Taylor University takes the second set 25-17. And they lead 2-0 here in the matchup between the Trojans and the Red Wolves. Kyle, tell us a little bit about the second set.
Again, just I think the experience factor worked in Taylor's favor in that one there. Just, again, some plays I didn't see him coming. So, and that's just the experience thing, I think, in their benefit. And I think we'll be seeing IU East make plays like that as soon as this year. I know if they improve at the rate they improved last year, we'll be seeing things like that for the Red Wolves this year. So that's one way you learn is to play folks that do things that maybe isn't – you can do it, but it's not kind of an instinctive part of your repertoire yet. Still time, and I still think IU East can certainly play at Taylor's level. Taylor's really good, by the way. I think you mentioned those 4 of those losses, 3 of them were against teams in the top 25. Taylor, I think, was 38th in the preseason poll. So not just like Point Park wasn't your typical 0-8 team. Taylor is not your typical 2-4 team. So ideally, you want this to be a good match and a win. But I think this is something the Red Wolves are definitely going to be learning some things from.
All right, well, the Taylor Trojans lead 2-9 in the match after winning the first set 26-24 and the second set 25-17. We'll take a break and come back with the third set of IU East Volleyball on the IU East Red Wolves Sports Network.
We felt the best way to change human behavior was not necessarily to always be on people's backs, but rather it was to catch them doing something right and to reinforce it.
And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East Red Wolves taking on the Taylor Trojans, and right now the Taylor Trojans lead 2-0 after winning the first set 26-24 and set number 2 25-17. And we are ready to get set number 3 underway here inside of the Student Center Gym at the Point Park Battle of the Boulevard. Here's the serve, and it goes over into the Taylor back row. And it's going to be a point to Taylor off of their own kill, putting them up 1-0 here in set number 3.
Line judge was starting to signal out. Let's see how, it is close. I'm not arguing either way. Let's see if she wants to. Nope, they're going to stick within. Wishful thinking on my part.
There's the serve. It goes over to Mallory Livingston with the dig. Set by Pavey, and Durham gets it across for IU East. Back over to Yoder. Here's the set by Pavey. And Snyder with the attack this time. It goes long and a point to Taylor. Puts Taylor up now 2-0 in set number 3. Here's the serve from Fahey. It's going to be a point to the Red Wolves off of the service error. And it's 2-1 in set 3. Puts Sydney Durham back to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. And the serve goes over to the back row to Reel. There's the set and the attack by Gehrig. And off the hands of Pavey. Makes it 3-1. Back in for Taylor is going to be number 13, Lorna Craig. She goes back to serve. Craig is a 5'5 sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana. And here's the serve. It goes over into the back row to Hannah Best. It's going to be set by Bella Pavey. Steinbrenner tries to get it across, but blocked by the Trojans up to the front row. Makes it 4-1. So a 3-point lead for the Trojans as Laura Craig back to serve for the Taylor University Trojans. It's going to be a service error, a point to the Red Wolves, making it 4-2. Both points that the Red Wolves have so far here in the third set have been off of service errors. Abby Ketchum back out of the game for IU East to serve, and Missy Bedell up into the front row. Off of the bench for IU East. Here's the set, and it's going to be on the outside of the antenna, but they don't get the call, and it's going to be a kill for the Red Wolves instead. Makes it 4-3.
That's what I was talking about the experience. I actually saw that on the inside. I know I'm the only person from IU East that thinks that, but made a play on it. That was really tough for the Red Wolves to do something with, even though Taylor was really out of sorts. So that's where that experience factor is coming for Taylor. Even though they're in bad shape, they've got ways to kind of make life difficult for us when it comes back on the other side.
Dig by Hannah Best, and the attack by Missy Bedell, picked up by the Trojans. And here is going to be a kill for Taylor. Looked like that one was by Becca Garrick. And it is now, I've got 5-3, Kyle.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
5-3.
Scoreboard agrees. Everyone agrees.
5-3 in favor of Taylor University. Here's the serve from Alex Reel. Goes over to the back row. It's going to be an ace after it goes off the hands of Hannah Best. And it is 6-3 in the third set. Alex Reel back to serve for the Trojans. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to the back row. The dig by Yoder, kept alive by IU East, and Bedell runs into the net. It'll be a point to the Trojans. Now 7-3. Reel continues to serve. Going to go over to the back row. Dig by Yoder, set by Ketchum. Here's Steinbrenner with the attack. It's going to be up off the ceiling, and a point to the Red Wolves. Now 7-4. Bailey Gates comes back into the game, up into the front row for IU East, so Mallory Livingston can go into the back row and serve. Laying up the floor over here on the Taylor side. We mentioned several times in our broadcast earlier today, but definitely pretty toasty here inside. The
90 degrees outside, and it's
close,
pretty close to 90 in here.
There's the set, and the hit over to Yoder, set by Ketchum. Here is Bailey Gates with the attack. Goes up, bounces around on the basketball goal. Tried to play it off the wall. And it's going to be a point to the Red Wolves. It's going to be 7-5. Mallory Livingston back to serve. Senior from Mississippi Valley High School. Her serve goes over to the back row. There's the set. And a little miscommunication there between Fahey and Balma. Giving another point to the Red Wolves, making it 7-6, down to a 1-point game. Mallory Livingston continues to serve for IU East. The serve goes over. Gehrig. Set by Fahey. Set by Ketchum, and the attack by Gates. Over and up behind us. And that's going to be a point to IU East. Ties it up 7-7 in the third set.
As much as I've been singing Taylor's praises the last half hour, so IU East can play with him.
Yeah.
Just if they play clean, good pass, good set, good attack, they can play right with them. They can side out. They can get on some runs. So for when things got a little out of hand in the second set, there were some mistakes that really the Red Wolves hadn't been making for about a week that cropped in there for a little bit. But if they play clean, they can most definitely play with, and if you can play with someone, that means you can beat them.
Right. It's going to be an 8-7 lead for Taylor. Here's the serve from Maggie Williamson, sent by Ketchum. Steinbrenner up that time, and it's going to be a point to Taylor, 9-7. Williamson continues to serve for the Trojans. Here's her serve. It goes over to the back row to Yoder with the dig, sent by Ketchum. And the block up front by Taylor with the block. It's going to be 10-7. And they will continue to serve here in the third set. Here's the serve from Williamson. Going to go across to Myers in the back row with the dig. Yoder with one as well. Here's Gates with the kill. And it is now 10-8. A point to the Red Wolves. Makes it a 2-point game. Here's the serve from Madison Yoder. It's going to go over to the right side of Set, and Garrett gets it across to Yoder with the dig. Set by Abby Ketchum. Cindy Durham gets it over for IU East. There's the set, and the attack kept alive by the Red Wolves. There's Ketchum with the dig. Yoder gets it across over to the back row. Tipped over. Yoder with the hand on it to keep it alive, and the block by Balma makes it 11-8. Number 8, Kelly Arnold, back into the game for the Taylor Trojans. As Becca Gehrig back to serve for Taylor. Kyle, look out, coming over toward you.
Wow.
And it is now going to be 12-8. Had to regather my thoughts there for a second. I'm sure you did too. Set by Ketchum. Here's Bedell with the attack. It's going to be a set and out of bounds. A point to the Red Wolves. 12-9. Tori Snyder back into the IU East front row. Bella Pavia back in to serve for IU East. Serve goes over to the back row to Gehrig. The set and the attack by Balma. 13-9, a 4-point lead for Taylor University. And here's the serve from McKinney. The attack by Gates. Going to be blocked up front, but out of bounds. A point to the Red Wolves. 13-10.
And the scoreboard's got, well, now they got 13-9. We'll see. We'll match the scoreboard for now.
Okay. And that's going to be a point to Taylor, making it 14-9 on the official scoreboard.
Now they got 14-10, which I think that evens out with what we thought it should have been all along.
Yep.
So everyone back on course.
So a 4-point lead for Taylor University. Back to serve is going to be Julia Fahey. Her serve goes over to Mallory Livingston at the dig. Fahey trying to play it off the net, but it's going to be a little too low on the net to be able to be played. Going to be 15-10, a 5-point advantage for the Trojans as Fahey continues to serve. It's going to go over to Livingston once again with the dig, set by Pavey. Durham with the attack, picked up by the Taylor front row. Blocked up front that time by Cindy Durham. And it's now 15-11. So it's a 4-point game. Here's the serve from Durham over to the back row to Reel. Kept alive by Springer. A dig by Durham. One by Pavey as well. Livingston with the attack, and it's going to be a point to the IU East off the kill. 15-12. Back to a 3-point game as Cindy Durham continues to serve. The serve goes over to the Taylor back row to Gehrig. The set and the attack that time by Addie Bailey. Pavey gets it across for the Red Wolves. Hannah Best with the set in the back row. Pavey gets it across, and it's going to be a point to IU East. 15-13. Up by 2. Cindy Durham continues to serve for the Red Wolves.
She's limping a bit. That's why she's grimacing. Let's see if she can. Well, she got up to the net with no trouble, so hopefully just a little ache and pain.
The dig by Hannah Best. The attack by Mallory Livingston with the kill. And it's now 15-14. A 1-point game. Taylor still on top. Going to be a service error. Point goes to Taylor, making it 16-14. They're back up by 2. Back to serve is Laura Craig for the Trojans. Here's her serve. It's going to go over to the back row to Hannah Best with the dig. Set by Pavey. Here's Snyder with the attack. Goes into the net. And a point to Taylor off of 4 hits. They now lead by 3, 17-14 here in the third set. It's going to be a serve by Craig and just over the net for the ace. It's going to be 18-14. Honestly, God, that was one that even kind of surprised me a little bit. It didn't look like it was going to make it over. I think that's what the thought was up there in the front row. It wasn't going to clear it, and as soon as she turned around, it somehow did.
Yeah, had plenty of zip, plenty of spin, so it just kind of climbed up the net almost and spun over and caught both teams off guard. And as I say, that's volleyball. In this case, it works against the Red Wolves.
Here's Livingston with the attack. The set by Pavey. Goes over to the back row to Hannah Best with the dig. Set by Pavey once more. Steinbrenner with one hand to keep it alive and in play. And it's going to be another kill for Taylor. 19-14. 5-point lead for the Trojans. Craig will continue to serve. There's the set and the attack by Steinbrenner. Will be a point to the Red Wolves. Abby Ketchum comes in to serve for IU East. It's going to be 19-15 when Ketchum takes over as server. The set by Fahey. Dig by Best. And the attack by Livingston. Makes it over. Blocked up front. Kept alive once again. It's going to be out of bounds. A point to the Trojans. And it's 20-15. A 5-point lead. Alex Reel goes back to serve. Reel from Noblesville, Indiana, a 5'4 junior on the Taylor roster. Here's her serve. It's going to go over into the back row to Madison Yoder with the dig. Set by Ketchum. Here's Livingston. The set and the attack by Gehrig for the kill. 21-15. Real will continue to serve. Goes over to Livingston in the back row. Set by Ketchum. Steinbrenner gets it across. And the attack that time just out of bounds, making it 22-15. Seven-point game. Here's the serve from Real. Set by Ketchum. The kill by Mallory Livingston that time for IU East makes it 22-16. Down to a 6-point game. Livingston will go back to serve now for the Red Wolves. There's the serve. It's going to go over. Set by Fahey. Springer gets it across. Ketchum keeps it alive with one hand. Goodell keeps it alive. It's going to go off the net at a point to Taylor. 23-16. Mallory Livingston comes out of the game. Haley Myers will replace her. And here's the serve from the Taylor Trojans. Goes over to the back row. The dig by Myers. Set by Ketchum. And a kill by Morgan Steinbrenner. Makes it 23-17. Down by 6. Madison Yoder goes back to serve for IU East. It's live by Real. Vidal gets it across that time for the Red Wolves. Myers able to cover with the dig. Durham gets it across for a kill, and it's going to be 23-18. Yoder continues to serve for the Red Wolves. Here's her serve, goes over to the back row to Reel. Attack and a little miscommunication up there between some of the IU East players. It's going to be a point to the Trojans, 24-18. Brings up match point as Kelly Arnold comes back into the game, and back to serve is going to be Becca Gehrig for the Taylor Trojans. Here's her serve, goes over to the back row to Bailey Gates. Yoder with the dig. Set by Fahey, and an attack by Arnold that time. It's going to be back over the net by Sydney Durham. A point to the Red Wolves, 24-19. Tori Snyder comes back into the game, goes up under the front row, and Bella Pavey will go to the back row to serve.
Bella Pavey to serve for the IU East Red Wolves. Match point number 2.
Pavey, one of the freshmen on the IU East roster. Yeah, looks like we're ready to go. 24-19 in favor of Taylor. Here's the Red Wolves serve by Pavey. Goes over to the back row. There's the set and the attack. And the kill is inbounds, and that makes the final score in the third set 25-19. And Taylor University will take the win over IU East. 3-0 off of scores of 26-24, 25-17, and 25-19 as well. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about today's matchup between the Trojans and the Red Wolves.
Well, Taylor's good, and they're a team that you're going to have to beat them. They are not going to beat themselves, and on this day, IU East didn't quite do enough to beat them. If we get the stat sheet later, what we're going to see, IU East is going to have a few more serve errors, not a catastrophic amount more, but enough that all else being equal makes a difference. It's going to show that they got ace more times. Not a catastrophic number, but enough to make a difference. It's going to show probably a slight advantage in hitting percentage for Taylor. Not a catastrophic disadvantage, but again, enough to make a difference. This is a day, if you think, hardly ever did you see Taylor make an unforced error. Hardly ever did they make an unforced mistake in serve receive. Hardly ever did they have a bad set. Just IU East was going to have to beat them. It wasn't a case where Taylor's going to beat themselves. It didn't happen today, but if the proper lessons are learned, it can happen against a team of this level in the not too distant future.
All right, thank you, Kyle. We'll take a quick break and come back with the IU East postgame show, the postgame interview with Coach Abby Niekamp, and we'll have information on tomorrow's games as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the IU East Volleyball postgame show on the Red Wolf Sports Network.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to the IU East Volleyball postgame show here on the Red Wolf Sports Network. Joining me now is IU East Volleyball head coach Abby Niekamp. Coach, obviously a very competitive Taylor University team. Tell us a bit about what you saw down here on the floor tonight.
Yeah, they have an amazing offense. They're so quick on their side. They're so scrappy. We just weren't ready for it. Our block was a little bit late, and we got caught out of position on defense a lot this game, actually. So we just weren't ready for that speed of the offense yet.
And what do you have to do to be able to prepare for that speed in a matchup?
You know, it's definitely something that we're going to see later in the season again, I'm sure. So just practice it. Practice getting up quick on that block and making sure we're in position on defense.
All right, anything else that you saw that the team needs to work on in preparation for tomorrow?
You know, I think we have a great team mindset after getting that win this morning. So I think we're going to shake this one off and be better tomorrow.
All right, well, obviously 2 games again tomorrow. Take on Lawrence Tech University for the first game at 10 a.m. What do you know about them, and what do you know about West Liberty?
This tournament in general is a tough one, and people are beating each other up this tournament. So it's kind of whatever product they put on the court at the time. So we're just going to focus on our side and make sure that we put that consistent effort that we did against Point Park this morning out on the court again.
All right, thank you, Coach, for your time.
Thank you.
Once again, the Red Wolves fall to Taylor University 3-0 with scores of 26-24, 25-17, and 25-19. The Red Wolves back in action again tomorrow. They're going to return to the court at 10 a.m. to face Lawrence Technological University, and then they will be playing West Liberty tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. So be sure to tune into those games here on the Red Wolves Sports Network. We'll have those as well. And just like today, plan on the pregame show starting at about 7 or 8 minutes before the scheduled game time. If something happens that they are running a little behind, sort of like tonight, we'll keep you updated on that as well. Once again, IU East now 5-6 on the season. Taylor improves their record to 3-4 after a 3-0 win over the IU East Red Wolves, 26-24, 25-17, and 25-19. Special thanks to Kyle Wright, our broadcast engineer and color commentator for this broadcast. And I'm Caleb Gillock, the voice of your IU East Red Wolves. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow at about 9:53 a.m.